With Mack Brown now at the helm, the Tar Heels are back to college football relevance, and they are starting to get more and more talent on the roster. Not only are they getting more talent for their current roster, but they are now starting to send players to the NFL as we speak. The Tar Heels have 4 ultra-talented players who are all going under the radar in the 2021 NFL Draft, and today I want to highlight each one of them, what makes them special, and why this group is loaded and not talked about. But before we do that, be sure to hit that like button if you want to support what I'm doing here on YouTube, subscribe to both this channel and my basketball channel, suggest another topic, player, or coach I should do next, and turn on post notifications so you never miss when I upload. Now let's get started and talk about the North Carolina draft prospects for the 2021 NFL. North Carolina isn't the first team you think of when it comes to producing NFL talent, but this year is different. We're going to talk about each guy, a summary of their story, career, and what the scouts have to say about them. But first, let's start with the dynamic pair of running backs that they have. Let's first take a look at Javonte Williams. He was a homegrown kid who apparently went under the radar as he was the 93rd best player in the state of North Carolina, and obviously a very low-ranked recruit. He was fast and put up big numbers though, so he was offered by Larry Fedora and the Tar Heel staff. He had 5 touchdowns in 11 games as a true freshman and showed he had a bright future with the Heels. As a sophomore, he appeared in every game and rushed for nearly 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns, while being graded as one of the top running backs in college football. No one anticipated Williams' 2020 breakout season, and he became one of the best prospects for this year's draft. In just 11 games, he racked up 1,140 yards and 19 touchdowns. He showcased his versatility, adding 25 catches for 305 yards and 3 more scores out of the backfield, and what makes this even more impressive is that he saw 7 fewer attempts this year than the previous year. But what do the scouts have to say? Quote, Williams is a bruising ball carrier who doles out a lot of punishment, running with an aggressive style, and consistently finds ways to pick up yardage. He's best running downhill, but I fully expect Williams will break in with the first team at the next level if put in the proper system. Going over to the other guy, he was rated as a 4-star prospect and had offers from schools such as Florida, Tennessee, and West Virginia. Michael Carter would end up signing with North Carolina out of high school though, and he had to prove his worth immediately. He provided value to the Heels right away, as a true freshman, he earned substantial playing time despite sharing snaps with future NFL backs TJ Logan and Elijah Hood. He led the team with 8 touchdowns on the ground and had 559 yards on only 97 carries. After Logan and Hood left after the 2017 season, Carter was the premier weapon in the Tar Heels backfield in 2018, but he honestly did not see that much of a statistical uptick. As we all know, Javonte Williams would come in, and the opportunities for Carter would go down a little bit. But in 2019, he would bounce back. He broke the 1,000-yard mark for the first time in his career as he had 1,003 yards and 3 touchdowns on 177 carries, and he also had 2 receiving touchdowns. His dynamic ability was starting to become a lot more apparent to teams, and both the running backs would complement each other, so in 2020, the two emerged as a nearly unstoppable duo. Here's what the scouts have to say. One of Carter's main strengths is his vision, which sets him apart from many other running backs trying to make it in the league. He is quick to locate lanes and has the patience to let gaps develop in front of him. Some of the cons include him not as fast as some of the other guys in the draft class, and at 5'8" and 201 pounds, he's unlikely to be an every down back to start his professional career, and that'll likely hold his ceiling. So yeah, the size will make things difficult for him, and I wouldn't say he's an elite level prospect, but he's definitely going under the radar and could have a real impact at the next level. Moving over to the wide receivers, we first have De'Ami Brown, and he could be a steal that no one is really talking about. He grew up as an in-state player as well, and his brother Khafre Brown was on UNC as well. De'Ami was a 4-star recruit and chose the Heels and would see immediate action. He started 6 games as a true freshman and would blow up as a sophomore. He was an all-third-team ACC selection and a 1,000-yard receiver under new head coach Mack Brown. As a junior in 2020, he established himself as a legit NFL prospect. He recorded 1,099 receiving yards, becoming the first player in program history with 2 1,000-yard receiving seasons. On the year, he would have 55 catches and 8 touchdowns, and he was the best on the team. He would skip the bowl game against Texas A&M and declare for the 2021 NFL Draft. Here's what the scouts have to say. Quote, Brown has displayed himself as a legitimate vertical threat in the North Carolina offense these past 2 years, as he's a receiver who consistently comes away with big plays down the field. He needs to fill out his frame, but Brown has all the tools necessary to develop into a number 2 wideout at the next level. Brown stretches the field considerably well, as he averages 18.7 yards per catch during his time at North Carolina. He's a smart route runner with solid footwork. He's one of the best deep threats in the draft. While he is not anywhere near the top of the class, a strong showing at North Carolina's 2021 Pro Day could solidify the prospect's 3rd round ranking, and that is exactly what he would do. This is definitely a guy who is going under the radar, and I see him as a top 10 wide receiver on most people's big boards, but right now, people don't really know where he's going to go, and I wonder where he will fall. The final wide receiver we have to talk about is Daz Newsom. He grew up the son of a former Virginia Tech player and was a top 100 kid coming out of high school who flipped from Maryland to North Carolina. He played as a freshman and would make 2 starts and had a touchdown off a jet sweep, and that was the most notable moment of his freshman year. As a sophomore, he had 44 catches for 506 yards and 2 touchdowns, while also running the ball and becoming a factor on special teams. He broke out as a junior as he led the team with 72 catches for 1,018 receiving yards and 10 touchdowns, and that's when people started to know his name. He decided to come back for his senior year, and he was second on the team with 54 catches for 684 yards and 6 touchdowns, and was named an All-ACC honorable mention. I definitely would say his stock took a little bit of a drop. Daz is not the biggest name in terms of the wide receivers in this year's class, but here's what the scouts have to say. Quote, "The top trait Daz Newsom possesses is the ability to make yards after the catch. He shows outstanding agility in the open field and routinely makes tacklers miss. This ability to make plays with the ball in his hands is also one of the reasons he's been such a dangerous return man. While Newsom is able to turn the short catch into a long, he also has the ability to get behind defenders and make plays downfield. The biggest negative when it comes to Daz's game is a lack of size by far. He's only 5'11" and 190 pounds, and he lacks the size and physicality to be anything more than a slot receiver in the NFL, which definitely makes his ceiling not super high. Right now he is seen as a day 3 pick, but I do believe he has sleeper potential, and if he lives up to how he played his junior year, he could definitely be a hidden gem. So yeah, I wanted to highlight the 4 skill players for the North Carolina Tar Heels going into the 2021 NFL Draft. None of these guys are seemingly getting a lot of buzz, as they're all kind of seen as day 2, day 3 picks, but all have the potential to do well in my opinion. And we can't forget about Chaz Surratt, who's likely going to be a day 2 pick as well, and he's got a pretty interesting story as he switched from quarterback to defense. But yeah, what do you guys think of these players, and who do you think will be the best of the 4? Be sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, another player, top, or draft video I could do next, and be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to both my basketball and football channel if you have not already, suggest another topic, and check out my video about the rise of North Carolina and Mack Brown. Hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.